Thank you for this great introduction. I couldn't follow Wolfgang's discussion with a more appropriate topic, such as how to combat the lack of science news in the mainstream media. And here is how we're going to discuss this. I want to give you some background. Basically, every time there is a recession, the first journalists to go are the science correspondent or the environment correspondent. Always this creates a problem because very few people know how to effectively explain the latest research findings or technology progresses due to the lack of expertise in a given topic. The second problem is even when a generalist journalist wants to go on research a topic, the language in which science is recorded is so cryptic that very few people are able to decipher it. The third problem is because the science doesn't make it into the news, then people who need to know are missing out. So all these issues have brought us to reflect on these things. And also what has happened since then is that the pandemic has shown us a few lessons in life. And one of the lessons that came out loud and clear is that the general public had much more of an interest in scientific or health news than we all previously assumed among media organizations. And no medical or scientific concept is too complicated when people really want to understand what's going on. At the same time, another kind of pandemic has hit us, the fake news epidemic. And that has been quite a lesson in life throughout the pandemic to see how little fact-based information was actually circulating outside the mainstream media. And that's quite damaging because fake news tend to go far beyond fact-based news. So we have a responsibility to try and counter this wave of misinformation. And that's where you can turn towards the artificial intelligence solution. And the reason for turning towards AI is because it can work at scale. And that means when you think that there's 2.4 million new science studies being published every year, there's a real opportunity for media organization to actually harness these news and cover them more systematically than before. And this is where solutions like natural language processing come into play. What these sort of algorithms do is they have the ability to extract selectively bits from a more substantial source document. And I want to share samples of natural language processing algorithms that have been applied to research studies with you today, just to give you a flavor of what's possible with the state of the art of AI. And on the right-hand side of the screen, you see a 300-word summary of a study that's featured on the left-hand side of the screen. And that's really giving you, in a nutshell, what's in the study. But we went one step further. We actually looked at journalistic style approaches to summarization. And you can see we've addressed key questions, who did the work? What did they find? How did they find these results in an automated highlight summary? And finally, because our intention is always to make the news available to people who are non-expert, we've added a layer of context, such as lay definition of technical term, spelling out of acronyms and things like that. So if you consider that if you were able to put all these summaries into a newswire type solution, then you could have a concrete solution to the lack of science news appearing in the media. And this is the scheme of how it could work. You'd have your newswire with the science being monitored by professional science journalists, by the way, which can be working remotely. And then eventually you can distribute these news. Now we're looking for media partners because that newswire service, we're going to be creating it. We received the news that we've been selected by a Horizon 2020 program to participate with media organization and set this up. So contact us if you're interested in taking part in this adventure, but we're doing what we can to counter the wave of misinformation by spreading the news about fact-based research and innovation. Thank you for your time, and I hope to meet you in the lounge. Bye.